Welcome to part 2. Most stunning Gran Turismo 7 tracks on PSVR2. Today we are at the Nürburgring. And this is gonna be a longer part of the video, and I assume that most of you know why. I mean, over a 20k long track with a really vast amount of different corners, and I'm not gonna go through them all, but nevertheless we are trying to pick out the ones I feel will stand out in a VR environment. And yeah, so come along and enjoy the ride, so to say. Here we are driving towards the uphill ending at the right-hander sequence that's called the Flygplatz, if I pronounce this correctly. And the main thing, I think, on Nürburgring is that there are so many fast corner/straight-ish sequences. I mean, depending on the car and how fast you are driving and how the car behaves, it could be a corner, it could be a straight. But yeah, there's our first still picture on a crest, a non-existent crest, but yeah, drive fast enough and it almost becomes a jump. So then we take this right-hander down the hill towards the foxhole in English. What was the German? Fußreche. Sorry again, but yeah, a downhill section that is really difficult depending on the car you are driving and of course your driving skills. Then we cut forward to the carousel. This in VR will be nice. You can drive it on the right side on the flat surface or on the left side on the banking. Our next cut, if I remember correctly, yeah, it's the... I actually have to look up what's the name of this sequence if I find it. But it's again like a straight-ish sequence that you are driving, depending on the car, almost full throttle the whole way. And yeah, again, in VR it will be quite something. I'm not sure if this is the part of Geschlechen or Little Valley ending in Steilstrecke or steeply sloping section. Maybe it could be that part, yeah. And yeah, as I said, you are driving almost full throttle and yeah, trying to just balance act the whole way through. Then we are cutting forward to... now I'm not sure about the corner name, but this is the corner I have seen many YouTube videos on. This one, yeah, the still picture. The corner where people usually are filmed by others when they crash. And yeah, I wanted to include that because it's something that is seen quite often in the social media anyways. Then shortly after that we have again this bumpy downhill section. There we had the first bump, and then after this left-hander we have the second bump or drop. And these drops and jumps and bumps and height differences, again, something that interests me a lot to experience it in a VR environment. Then we move on, and I believe this is the last part regarding Nürburgring, and that of course is the main straight or the last straight ending to the pit area. And I'm not... what's the word? Sorry, the name. Antonius Buche. Antonius Beach. This upcoming left-hander under the bridge again, something that is barely a corner when you drive it with a slower car, but with this BMW I'm driving with, I could keep the throttle planted to the floor, but it was it was barely drivable without losing the rear. Then again, for you Formula 1 fans out there, we have Suzuka as we had Interlagos in the part 1 of this video series. And I believe I am driving not all the way, but almost all the way around Suzuka. And many of you know or can guess again that what corners I have included. And of course the first corner sequence, the sweeping right-handers that arrive at the SS, is a iconic, a legendary part of Suzuka. We have height differences again. We have the fair wheel in the background, sometimes you see it in the footage. And I mean the rhythm and the flow you have to have through this track. And as you see with this car, I'm barely keeping it on the road even though I have 4 on traction control. But yeah, you have to have a good rhythm and a good flow when you drive this track. Then the passing under the bridge to the hairpin is an iconic part also, and a really difficult braking zone, for me personally anyways. Then as we accelerate out, we are through 200R, this right-hander sequence. We are nearing the spoon curves, the upcoming left-hander, that ends up in a negative bank right here. It's a really tricky corner. And now we enter the backstretch that ends up in the place where I took the Gran Turismo 7 picture, and that's 130R, a really iconic corner on Suzuka. And yeah, it's terrifying. It looks terrifying in a Formula 1 car, and it felt terrifying in my BMW here, so it was fun anyways. Then we are driving on the Tokyo Expressway. I'm not sure about which profile this is, but I wanted to showcase the immensely long straight on this track. And I got to test out the top speed on my naturally aspirated 450 something horsepower BMW. And again, we are talking about PlayStation VR2, so yeah, I'm sure you understand why I took this tunnel section into this video. I'm sure it's gonna look beautiful and be really immersing, again with the Tempest 3D audio and so on that the PlayStation 5 system provides. And we are continuing, and yeah, I wanted to include this because I mean it's a street track, and we have this hard braking zone that could end up in this wall in front of us. So it's kind of a chicken race with the wall when you drive on a 2D screen, but even more so when you drive in VR. From Japan to Australia, we are in Bathurst now, and we are trying to conquer the mountain without hitting the walls. This track, one thing, or the first thing that comes to mind is V8 supercars. And I am not claiming that I'm following this racing category that much, but the little I have seen, yeah, insanity, or at least close to that. How they drive between the walls, and yeah, again, the virtual reality aspect is that you are. I assume that I am going to be really immersed as the walls are close by, and you are trying to find the edge of grip without going over it as I'm doing right here, and we get a nice slide that I do correct in time. But yeah, anyways, I wanted to showcase these near wall passes that Bathurst is famous for, when you absolutely trying to floor it and get the best lap time. And of course, as any mountaineers would know, a important part of conquering the mountain, in this case Bathurst Mountain, is to get back down, or at least have a plan to get back down, and this is what we are doing here. We are descending the mountain. And this whole section is something I am looking forward to in PlayStation VR2. Then we are moving forward to Fuji. Back to Japan. And yeah, I'm not hating on the track. I actually like it, and I have one section that I want to mention, but I just want to see the Fuji mountain itself. To see the scale of a natural formation like a mountain. The mountains we had in Dragon Trail, and we had mountains in Deep Forest, but those are made up tracks. So a real mountain in Fuji would be really nice to see, and the VR environment. I'm actually trying to see if I see the Fuji mountain here, and I don't think it's that one. As we come to this section I want to mention, and that is this really long right-hander that really tests the tires. Then there's the last sector, and here the actual Fuji mountain is more visible, and of course the nice left right-hander sequence. I am trying to do a nice drift here, but as you see, it's not so nice. But anyway, that was Fuji racetrack in Japan. Yeah, and then, last but definitely not least, and that's the Fisherman's Ranch. Yeah, I told in the first part of this video series that I have driven Dirt Rally 1 on PlayStation VR1. And I guess the circle closes and I'm back rallying. I mean, if you're not familiar with my accent, I am from Finland, and rallying is kind of a big deal here. Shout out to Kalle Rovanperä. And yeah, jumps, and some more jumps, and some slides, and some bigger slides, and then some bigger jumps. That is Fisherman's Ranch in a nutshell. So please enjoy this borderline catastrophe when I'm trying to maintain a stable trajectory and a high velocity whilst I slide and jump my way around this beautiful track that is brought to us by Polyphony Digital. And again, as in the first video, please let us know what kind of track corner sequence combinations you are most excited about regarding the launch of PlayStation VR2 on the 22nd of February.